Hello everyone, today I will read Harry Potter and the Philosopher Stone, Chapter 11, Quidditch. As they entered November, the weather turned very cold. The mountains around the school became icy gray and like chilly steel. Every morning the ground was covered in frost. Hagrid could be seen from the upstairs window defrosting broomstick on the Quidditch field, burning up in a long molesky overcoat, rabbit fur gloves, and enormous beaver skin boots. The Quidditch season had begun. On Saturday, Harry would be playing in his first match after a week of training. Gryffindor versus Slytherin. If Gryffindor won, they would move into second place in the house championship. Hardly anyone had seen Harry play because Wood had decided that, as their secret weapon, Harry should be kept well secret. But the news that he was playing secret had leaked out somehow, and Harry didn't know which was worse. People telling him he did be brilliant, or people telling him they did be running around underneath him holding a mattress. Was really lucky that Harry now had Hermione as a friend. He didn't know how he did have gotten through all his homework without her. What will the last minute Quidditch practice was making them do? She has so lent him Quidditch through the age would turn out to be very interesting read. Harry learned that were 700 ways of committing a Quidditch foul and that all of them had happened during a World Cup match in 14 and 73. That seekers were usually the smallest and fastest player, and that most serious Quidditch accidents seem to happen to them. That although people rarely die playing Quidditch, referees have been known to vanish and turn up months later in the Sahara Desert. Hermione had become a bit more relaxed about breaking rules since Harry and Ron had saved her from the mountain storm, and she was much nicer for it. The day before Harry's first Quidditch match, the three of them were out in freezing courtyard during break, and she had conjured them up a bright blue fire that could be carried around in a jam jar. They were standing with their back to it, getting warm when Snape crossed the yard. Harry noticed at once that Snape was sleeping. Harry, Ron, and Hermione moved closer together to block the fire from view. They were sure it wouldn't be alone. Unfortunately, something about their guilty face caught Snape's eye. He leaned over. He hadn't seen the fire, but he seemed to be looking for a reason to them off anyway. Was that you have got there, Potter? It was Quidditch through the age. Harry saw him. Library books are not to be taken outside the school. See, Snape gave it to me 5 boys from Gryffindor. He just made that rule up. Harry muttered angrily as Snape blew him away. Wonder what's wrong with that? Do not, but I hope it's really hurting him, said Ron bitterly. The Gryffindor common room was very noisy that evening. Harry, Ron, and Hermione sat together next to a window. Hermione was checking Harry and Ron James' homework for them. She would never let them copy. How will you learn? But by asking her to read it through. They got the right answer anyway. Harry felt restless. He wanted Quidditch through the age back. To take his mind off his nerve about tomorrow, why should he be afraid of Snape? Getting up, he told Ron and Hermione he was going to ask Snape if he could have it. Harry felt restless. Getting up, he told Ron and Hermione he was going to ask Snape if he could have it. Better you than me, they said together, but Harry had an idea that Snape wouldn't refuse if there were other teachers listening. He made his way down to the safe room and knocked. There was no answer. He knocked again, nothing. Perhaps Snape had left the book in there. It was worth a try. He pushed the door ajar and peered inside. A horrible scent met eye. Snape and Filch were inside, alone. Snape was holding his sword above his knees. One of his legs was bloody and mangled, which Phil was handing Snape bandage. Blasting things, Snape was saying. How are you supposed to keep your eyes on all three at once? Harry tried to shut the door quietly, but Potter, Snape's face was twixt fury as he dropped his robes quickly to hide his head. Harry gulped. I just wondered if I could have my book back. Get out! Out! Harry left before Snape could take any more boys from Gryffindor. He sprinted back upstairs. Did you get it? Ron asked as Harry joined them. What's the matter? In a low whisper, Harry told them what he did think. You know what this means? He finished breathlessly. He tried to get past that three-headed dog at Halloween that where he was going when he saw him. He after whatever is scurrying, and I did bet my broomstick he lets that drawing to make a diversion. Hermione eyes were wide. No, he wouldn't. He's not very nice, but he wouldn't try and steal something Dumbledore was keeping safe. Honestly, Hermione, you think all teachers are saints or something? Snape ran on with Harry. I wouldn't put anything past Snape. But was he answered? What was that dog girl doing? Harry went to bed with head buzzing with the same question. Neville was snoring loudly, but Harry couldn't sleep. He tried to empty his mind. He needed to sleep. He had his third Quidditch match in few hours, but the expression on Snape's face when Harry had seen his sled wasn't easy to forget. The next morning, though very bright and cold, the great hall was full of the delicious smell of fried sausage and the cheerful chatter of everyone looking forward to a Quidditch match. You have got to eat some breakfast. I don't want anything. Just a bit of toast. Will it, Hermione? I'm not hungry. Harry felt terrible. In an hour's time he'd be walking onto the field. Harry, you need your strength, says Seamus Finnegan. Seekers are always the ones who get clobbered by the other team. Thanks, Seamus, said Harry, watching Seamus Spy catch up on his sausage. By 11 o'clock, the whole school seemed to be out in the stand around the village beach. Many students had binoculars that said might be rise high in the air, but it was still difficult to see what was going on sometimes. Ron and Hermione joined Neville, Seamus, and then the West Ham fan up in top row. As a surprise for Harry, they had painted a large banner on one of the seats skippers had run. It said Potter for President, and then, who was good at drawing, had done a large Gryffindor lion underneath. Then Hermione had performed a tricky little train so that paint flashed different colors. Meanwhile, in the locker room, Harry and the rest of the team were changing into their scarlet Quidditch robes. Slytherin would be playing in green. Wood cleared his throat for silence. Okay, men, he said, and women, say Chaser Angelina Chosen, and women would agree. This is it. The big one, said Fred Weasley. The one we have all been waiting for, said George. We know Oliver's speech by heart, Fred told Harry. We were on the team last year. Shut up, you two, said Ward. This is the best team Gryffindor had in years. We are going to win, I know it. He glared at them all as if to say all else. Right. It's time. Good luck, all of you. Harry followed Fred and George out of the locker room and hoping his knees weren't going to give way. Walked onto the field to loud cheers. Madame Hooch was refereeing. She stood in the middle of the field waiting for the two teams, her broom in her hand. Now I want to night fair game of you, she said. Once they were all gathering around her, Harry noticed that she seemed to be speaking particular to Slytherin Captain Marcus Flint, a 6-year. Harry thought Flint looked as if he had some trouble in him. Out of the corner of his eye saw fluttering panel high above, flashing Potter for President over the crowd. His heart skipped. He felt braver. Now, your brooms, please. Harry climbed onto his number 2000. Madame Hooch gave a loud blast on her silver whistle. 15 brooms threw up high into the air. They were off, and the waffle is taken immediately by Angelina Chosen of Gryffindor. What an excellent chaser that girl is, and rather attractive too. Jordan, sorry, Professor. The Weasley twins' friend, Lee Jordan, was doing commentary for the match, closely watched by Professor McGonagall, and she really pelted along up there. A neat pass to Alicia Spinnet, a good fight of Oliver Woods. Last year only reserve. Back to Chorson and no. The Slytherin have taken the waffle. Slytherin Captain Marcus Flint gains the waffle and off he goes. Flint flying like an eagle up. He's going to escape. Essie, no, stop it by an excellent move by Gryffindor keeper Wood. And the Gryffindor take the waffle was that chaser Katie Bell of Gryffindor there. Nice dive around flinched off of the field and ouch, that must have hit in their back of head by a bludger's waffle taking by slithering that area and pushing back off tower. Says Wayborn. Can't tell why nice play by the Gryffindor beater anyway and Charleston back in possession of their she goes. She was really flying towards a spade. Butcher the goalpost overhead. Come on. Now Angelina keep up benches, dies, misses. Gryffindor scored. Gryffindor cheer filled the cold air with howls and moans from Slytherin. But up there move along. Hagrid. Ron and Hermione squeezed together to give Hagrid enough space to join them. Big watching from me hurts, said Hagrid, batting a large pair of binoculars around his neck. But it isn't the same as being in the crowd. No sign of the snitch yet. No, say Ron. Harry hasn't had much to do yet. Came out of trouble through that something, said Hagrid, raising his binoculars and peering skyward at the speck that was Harry. Way up above them, Harry was gliding over the game, sweating about for some sign of the snitch that was part of his and was game plan. Keep out of the way until you catch sight of the snakes. Would have said, we don't want you attacked before you have to be. When Jelena had scored, Harry had done a couple Cooper of the loop to loops to get let out of his feeling. Now he was back to staring around for the stage once he caught sight of a flash of gold, but it was just a reflection from one of the Weasley wrist watchers, and once a butcher decided to compounding his weight more like cannonball than anything, but Harry dodged it and Fred Weasley came chasing after it. All right there, Harry, he had time to yell as he beat the bludger furiously toward Mac's edge, slithering in position. Lee Jordan was saying, Chaser pushing dark to Blatcher to Weasley and Chaser about and speak toward their wait a moment. Was that the stage? A murmur ran through the crowd as Arian Percy dropped the waffle to pieces, looking over his shoulder at the flash of gold that had passed his left ear. Harry saw it in a great rush of excitement and dived downward after the streak of gold. Slytherin seeker Terence High had seen it too. Neck and neck they hurtled toward the snake. All the chasers seemed to have forgotten what they were supposed to be doing as they hung in mirror to watch. Harry was faster than Hans. He could see the little round ball, wings fluttering, darting up ahead. He put on an extra spurt of speed. Wham! A roar of rage issued from the Gryffindor below. Maggots Flynn had plucked Harry off bubbles, and Harry Brimstone off, of course. Of course, Harry holding on for dear life. Foul! She screamed the Gryffindor. Madame Hooch spoke angrily to Fletch, and they ordered a free shot at the goalpost for Gryffindor, but in all the confusion, of course, the golden snitch had disappeared from sight again. Now instead, Dean Thomas was yelling, "Send him up, ref! Red card!" "What are you talking about then?" "Say Ron, red card," said Dean furiously. "In soccer you get thrown the red card and you are out of the game." "But isn't soccer, Dean," Ron reminded him. Hagrid, however, was on Dean's side. The others changed the rules. Flynn could knock Harry out of the air. Lee Jordan was finding it difficult not to take sides. So after that observation and disgusting bit of cheating, Jordan growled Professor McGonagall. "I mean, after that open and revolting for Jordan, I'm warning you." All right. Flynn nearly kills the Gryffindor seeker, which could happen to anyone, I'm sure. So a penalty to Gryffindor taken by Spinner, who puts it away, no trouble, and we continue play. Gryffindor still in possession. It was at Harry dodged another bludger with one spinning dangerously but his head that intimate. His broom gave a sudden frightening lurch. First he spilled, second he thought he was going to fall. He gripped the broom tightly with both his hands and knees. He did never felt anything like that. It happened again. It was Stu. The broom was trying to back him up, but Nimbus 2000 did not suddenly decide to put their right arms. Harry tried to turn back toward the Gryffindor goal post. He had half a mind to ask her to call time out, and then he realized that his broom was completely out of his control. He couldn't turn it. He couldn't direct it at all. It was zigzagging through the air, and every now and then making violent swishing movements that almost unsealed him. Lee was still commanding, slithering in position, flanked with a waffle. Passes, spinach, passes, fell, hit hard in face by a bludger. How it broke his nose, only choke. Professor Slytherin scored on no. The Slytherin were cheering. No one seemed to have noticed that Harry Broom was behaving strangely. It was carrying him slowly higher away from the game, choking and twitch as it went. "Do you know what Harry thinks he's doing?" Harry mumbled. He stared through his binocular. "If I didn't know better, I'd say he's lost control of his broom. But he can't have." Suddenly, people were pointing up at Harry all over the stands. His broom had started to roll over and over, with him only just managing to hold on when the whole crowd gasped. Harry Broom had given a wild charge, and Harry swam off it. He's now dangling from it, holding on with only one hand. Did something happen to it when Flint blocked him? Seamus whispering. "Can't have," Hagrid said, his voice shaking. "Can nothing important with a broomstick except powerful dark magic? No kid could do that." Nimbus 2000. At these words, Hermione seized Hagrid's binocular. But instead of looking up at Harry, he started looking frantically at the crowd. "What are you doing, Morn?" Ron, great face. I knew it. Hermione gapes. Snape, look. Ron grabbed the binoculars. Snape was in the middle of stand up beside them. He had his eyes fixed on Harry and was muttering non-stop under his breath. He's doing something, using the broom, said Hermione. What should we do? Leave it to me. Before Ron could say another word, Hermione had disappeared. Ron turned the binocular back on Harry. His broom was vibrating so hard it was almost impossible for him to have out much longer. The whole crowd was on its feet, watching, terrified as the Weasley flew up to try and pull Harry safely onto of their brooms, but it was no good. Every time they got near him, the broom would jump higher, so they rubbed lower and circled beneath him, obviously hoping to catch him if he will. Marcus Flint sized the waffle and scored 5 times without anyone notices. Hermione, Ron muttered desperately. Hermione had found her way across to stand here where Snape stood and was now racing along the road behind him. She didn't even stop to say sorry as he knocked Professor Quirrell headfirst into the row in front. Reaching Snape, she curled down, pulled out her wand and whispered a few well-chosen words. Bright blue flames shot from her wand onto the hem of Snape's robes. It took perhaps 30 seconds for Snape to realize that he was on fire. A student yelped to her she had done her job, scooping the fire off him into a little jar in her pocket. She scrambled back along the road. Snape would never know what had happened.